Mm. Mm. I might have to do that
What?
this episode.
Bro, Perkins doing that shit was so funny.
Bro, Stephen A's reaction.
Yeah, his reactions.
That's how I reacted, bro. Because at first I thought he wasn't on air. Like that's
Yeah,
what I genuinely thought.
I thought he was starting to cough or something, and I was like, what the hell is he doing? They some dogs, Stephen A. They some dogs.
This man, oh my god.
He's so funny, bro.
That was the first time I've ever heard him talk, and I was like genuinely interested in what he had to say. All right, yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Say Less Basketball podcast. We're on episode 43. 43 is a big number in our group. There's a certain player, the best player on a championship team. The championship team was the Warriors, scored 43 points on the night that, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson couldn't hit a shot against the Cavs in the finals. I don't know. It's just a big number, all right? So episode 43 is a big day. Zach can't be with us today, especially to back his man after that abysmal performance that he had in that specific game. So it's a busy time of year, so we're kind of working with what we got. Mohammed's been very consistent, obviously. He's been here every week carrying the show. You know how he is. I'm Will. I'm back after last week being out. Just had some medical stuff going on. So, but we're back. Yeah. Grinding it out. So this week we're going to talk about some comments from Stephen A in the past about the Bulls. As Bulls fans, this is gold. He says some crazy stuff, and we all saw it the other night when he was he looked mad, man. He looked really mad at the Bulls game. Let's just say
he
that.
didn't look like he was enjoying himself, man.
I was enjoying it big time.
Love it. I love that game.
Oh yeah. Then we got some comments about KD from Steve Nash. We got some comments about the league being a little bit, more physical than it has been in the past. And then we got LeBron and, his big deal coming back from COVID protocols so fast. So why don't we just start with that? LeBron came back from protocols pretty much immediately, right? I mean, he
it's like 2 days after.
2 days, yeah. And so this drew, obviously, it's LeBron. So anything with LeBron's going to draw a ton of attention, and naturally this kind of stirred up the league. So what do you think of that? The fact that he was able to come back so fast. What does that mean for the league? What does that mean for the Lakers?
It was weird because they had a game against the Clippers on Friday, so 2 days ago while we're recording this. And he got, I think the news came out on Wednesday, and they're supposed to play on ESPN, and the league moved that game to, just local broadcasting, and then they put the Suns Warriors game on. And after that, just a day after that, LeBron comes out and tweets out, "Oh, something's real fishy." And, obviously, I guess he was talking about the COVID thing. And then I see a report here and says, LeBron said, usually when you have a positive test, they'll test you right away to make sure. There was not a follow-up test after my positive test. It was straight to isolation, and you've been put into protocol. That's the part that kind of angered me. And he said, I tested negative first, and then my second test came back positive. Usually when you're a positive. Okay, I got that. Continuing that quote, I had to figure out a way to get home from Sacramento by myself. They wouldn't allow anyone to travel with me, no security, no anything. When I traveled back from Sacramento, I had to put my kids in isolation for the time being, but put the people in my household in isolation for the time being. So it was a big time inconvenience. It was weird. I guess I've seen people say that, other players have tested positive. Even if they got some negative tests back, they still had to go in a 10-day protocol thing, and he didn't. So I guess the whole situation is they just kind of messed up his, his positive testing. I don't know.
I think there's a few things. So first of all, you said some other players have gotten like some negative tests or positive tests and negative, and they still had to go on the 10-day.
No, they
right?
had they got positive, but then they'll end up they get tested every day, obviously. So then maybe
Yeah.
like 2 days later or a couple days later, they'll say negative, negative. And usually they let them back. But some players like started the isolation. Remember Zach LaVine last year towards the end of the season?
Yeah,
He had
yeah.
to go out like 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I think that's part of the issue that people are having is LeBron getting special treatment
Yeah.
because he
That's the
draws
whole
so much attention to the NBA. The other thing is it seems like he had a false positive,
yeah.
which statistically is so unbelievably unlikely that I guess maybe the NBA would be like, oh, that's probably not true, just because data would say that isn't true. But
Right.
let's say he did get a false positive. To me, you gotta treat him the same way as everyone else, what and I know that they won't. I get it. I understand that, but like you just mentioned with Zach LaVine, if this were Zach LaVine, he's out for 2 weeks. That greatly impacts the Bulls last year. This year,
Right.
You can make the argument it wouldn't be as big a deal. But I think part of this, like, let's just face it, politics are involved in this. Let's just call it what it is. The Lakers are struggling. They look really bad without LeBron. I don't know if you could say they look great with him, but either way, they're better with LeBron on the court, and
right.
that might have been playing in the back of the mind. The other thing is the money, like you said, they moved the Lakers game from nationally televised. They want the Lakers on national television for sure.
Right.
That's going to draw more money than the Suns. Well, might not draw more money than the Suns Warriors. I think it would though, because it's the Lakers.
It was Lakers against Clippers too, so
yeah, Lakers Clippers, right? So I don't know. LeBron said I also found that I thought it was handled very poorly. I think you kind of touched on that. He's just not happy with it.
Yeah.
He's being a bit dramatic to me. This is a first world problem if I've ever seen one. This is not the end of the world. And I do get it because I would be upset if it was handled wrong. And I had to miss games. But come on, man. It's not the end of the world. And you have to, if you're being honest with yourself, you look at the other players like Zach LaVine, some other guys that have had this same situation come up and still have to miss the time.
Yeah, life. I kind of understand his frustrations because
I do too. Yeah, for sure.
This is something that like you said, it can affect the team. So, I understand. I think it's just just someone made a mistake like everybody does, and at least he got it fixed and he got he didn't have to miss any games.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, it could have been a person's mistake, but it also could be the test was wrong. The test can be wrong. People are under the impression that medical science is perfect. We've been over this many times on this show. It's not. There are times where you're wrong. That could have happened, and I do agree. I'd be upset too. Like if I got a false positive and if I had to miss work for 2 weeks, that would suck. That would not be good.
Yeah.
Granted, I can work from home. He can't, but you get the point.
Yeah.
So I just think it doesn't need to be a big deal. It happens. Move on. That's life. Whatever, right?
Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But speaking of LeBron and how unbelievably not hard he is. Oh God, that was a poor choice of words. How unbelievably physically dominant he is. Let's talk about how.
Oh man, it's good you caught yourself.
Oh man, we're about to, before the show even takes off, we're about to get outed by the not the IRS or somebody's gonna audit us and be like, yeah, you're done. How physically dominant this man is. Some players have been commenting saying the league. Oh God, I'm gonna text from Jack's dad. So how physical the league has gotten, and this year is a little bit more physical than it has been in the past. Personally, I don't know if I totally agree with that. Maybe they're letting them go a little bit further, but I mean, what are your thoughts? I don't know if I totally agree with that, and if it is true, they would know better than me because they're feeling it up front. If it's true, I'm all for it, honestly.
Yeah, I was a new fan of the new rules. I've always thought that the league was kind of soft. I've always thought that, watching a game and seeing James Harden throw up his arms or hook somebody, and then I hated it. I've stated many times. I'm not surprised that players are complaining. It's just like, like in basketball, when you watch a game and you see like somebody complain about a foul and like, they get knocked down or something, they don't get the call, and then the other team starts a fast break and then they jog back. I hate when I see that, because it's like, dude, just keep playing. Like, I was watching the Hawks Sixers game on Friday, and it was a good game. Joel Embiid was he came back, and now they're starting to win stuff. But Trae Young was obviously the guy I was looking at, and he's still doing that. Oh, I'm gonna drive into you, and then I'm gonna just bounce off like we're like it's a bouncy house or something, like just hit somebody and then start flaying my arms and all that stuff. I'm like, he's still doing this, and it's probably part of his game. He's been doing it for a long time, so it's kind of probably just natural for him to do it. But he wasn't getting a lot of those calls. And I watched the Bulls game yesterday, and James Harden, unless he was shooting three, he wasn't doing anything else, because when he drove to the hole, Lonzo was locking him up, Ayo was locking him up, and he was complaining about foul calls too, and he would just drop back to defense. So it's I'm not surprised the people are complaining, but it's just they got to get used to it. I mean, like, half of the stuff they do or they've been doing over the years, they're not fouls. It's not basketball. It's not good to watch.
Yeah.
As a player, I don't know if players complain about it, like other players, and saying, maybe the foul calls are calling are not good, but as a fan, obviously, we don't like to see that.
I don't what other rule changes have there been other than basically they're just not calling these crap fouls anymore? Like, is there anything else that
Nothing
I'm just
major.
missing? Okay.
Nope.
So then why are you, like, to me, why would you complain? Like you mentioned with James Harden, you really see it with James Harden. That man, he is having a really hard time adjusting to this. Trae Young, you guys are all over him for it. I actually think in terms of his play style, it's a little less worse. Does that make sense? It's like a little better in terms of play style.
I understand, because he's small. He's small. He's not that.
Well, yeah, but you can initiate contact. Like, if I drive into you and you're moving, that's, to me, okay. So like that part is okay. But if you're just defending me like a normal person, you can't see my arms, but my arms are out, and I just hook my arm like how James Harden does it, dude, that's nonsense. Or I kick my feet out to get you're not outplaying me. All you're doing is just making sure that I can literally not play defense. I try and defend you, it's a ridiculous foul. And I hark back to what I've said about many times on this show about the KD rip move. Mm-hmm. I don't think Zach knows what that is, but I know you do.
Yeah.
This man used to get like 13 free throws a game just from doing this stupid rip move. And I'm his biggest fan. But this was terrible for basketball. This was not good. Because you literally are, by him doing that, you cannot play defense with your arms. Like, you can't put your arms up to contest a shot or do anything, because this man will just rip move in your arms.
I mean, he usually did that when people were hand checking him.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I'm blurry, so I don't know if people will see this, but like, if I'm defending you, like, and I have my arm out like this, like a normal defensive position, this man's just gonna rip right into your arm.
I mean, if he's going for a shot, I guess, he made it so that he was guaranteed a foul call, so he had to swing his arms. But usually, like, you go for a shot.
Yeah, if you go for a normal shot, you just go up straight, right? You don't need to go like that. And dude. So if the NBA is truly more physical, and that's what the players are seeing, I'm all for it, because it's been good this year to me. I like the new rule changes. We'll talk more about Durant in a second, but I feel kind of bad for him, because clearly James Harden is having a very difficult time adjusting. Yes, he's still putting up the well-rounded stats. He's still getting some points, because like randomly he will shoot like 15 free throws a game or in a game. but
Yep.
he's struggling a lot. So like it sucks for like KD, but overall, the product that's being put out onto the floor as a fan, I'm way more interested than I've ever been. And I've been watching the basketball well before 2016. So, I mean, that's just a random number that came into my mind, just a random year, right?
Did you see Julius Randle's comments and Tom Thibodeau's comments?
No.
Okay, so when they played Brooklyn last Tuesday, there's a
Oh, I think
there's
I
a
did see this.
controversy.
Yeah.
There's controversy about the foul calls, right? And Julius Randle got a really important, really bad technical foul towards the end of the game. They gave Brooklyn a free throw in the clutch. But after the game, Julius said the refs told him, they said, because certain contact doesn't affect me like it affects other players, because I'm stronger, they're going to miss the calls. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
That's been an issue for forever, right? I mean,
Yeah.
hasn't that? Because you could say the same thing about LeBron. LeBron doesn't.
Yeah,
LeBron's never
of
gotten calls like that. Shaq as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
Shaq could have got 40 free throws a game if they actually called every single foul call, because that man was just too dominant.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can think of playing. Yeah, I'm reading about this. He's pissed after the hearing excuses on missed calls. Yeah. I mean, I can think of playing guys that I played in my life that are just way more physically dominant than me. Like I won't even lie, and I would just try and push them or do whatever, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter. They still score on me. And granted, sometimes we're playing with refs, but a lot of times it's just pickup, but nobody calls a foul. Like, granted, you don't really call fouls in pickup like that, but they have a point. I'm not disagreeing with Julius Randle there. That's unfair. Like that comes back to kind of like the LeBron thing with the COVID. You're changing the rules for certain players because of something they have.
I wouldn't say changing the rules. I think this is just like the refs don't want to, have a team shoot 40 free throws, or a certain player shoot 20 to 25 free throws every game because they're bigger and stronger, and they're probably getting hacked more than other guys. I think that's just how it is.
I agree, but it is not changing the rules. It's kind of dismissing the rules for these players. And if that's the case, if that's how it is, and that's how it's fair, I guess it's not fair, but if that's how it's going to be, they should make that clear. Hey, if you're just more physically dominant than a player, they're going to be allowed to kind of hack you a little more, which is kind of what has seemed to happen. But like, I don't know if that's fair. Like, I don't know if that's something that should be the way it is.
I mean, if this becomes a bigger issue, then they gotta, I don't know, make another rule change, because it's either you officiate by the rules, or you don't give leeway to other people because, hey, he's bigger, or hey, oh, he's smarter than that guy, so maybe I'm gonna let him play a little more aggressive on him than other guys. It's just, I don't know, like, because it's an official league. Like you said, in pickup, nobody calls those calls, and if you do, nobody's gonna deny it. But it's like, this is an NBA, it's professional sports, so like you gotta set the foundation. So if those are fouls, you're gonna call them. If they're not, then don't call them.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
Yeah, that's true. But let's move on here. We're gonna talk a little bit about this Bulls Stephen A thing. God, Stephen A. Let me pull up the quote, the literal quote. A few months ago, in August, when the Bulls acquired DeMar DeRozan, this man had the audacity to say, I don't think the combination of DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine works. Now, this was trending on social media the other night because he was at the Bulls game. I can't remember who they were playing that night.
Bulls at Knicks.
Bulls at Knicks. Oh, yeah, duh. Duh. His man wanted to go see his Knicks, get stomped. Anyway, so in an image of him was trending of him just looking mad depressed. This man just looked. I mean, it's not nice to laugh. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but he looked so sad. And Zach LaVine made a comment. He's like, I know you want, didn't he say this to him?
He said he said to him
before the game, right?
Yeah.
I know you want us to lose this game, but that's not going to happen. and you see Stephen A on the sidelines. We'll show the image here, but
yeah,
you just see him looking sad, man. He looks so sad. Eating his words. I mean, if that's not karma, I don't know what is.
It's him and a lot of other people, man. 16-8, second in the East, just beat both New York teams in New York.
Well, here's the other thing. Aren't they both like top 7 in MVP voting and is it top 5 still in scoring? It might not be anymore, but they were.
I think they're both top 10.
Yeah, they're definitely they're both top 10 for sure in scoring. Yeah, but
yeah,
it was top 5 last time I was on the show, so that was 2 weeks ago. So I mean, if we're not really working yet, I don't know.
It was great to see that. Honestly, I was watching the game and the Bulls were up 20, and then Knicks came back. So maybe Stephen A, if they have another camera angle, he probably was going crazy. But they still ended up losing. But it's just funny. I know it's still early, so I'm not gonna overreact to a lot of these, like, you get backs at analysts for downplaying the Bulls' free agency requirements. But it's just good to see them playing good basketball, second in the East, and I just hope they keep going. And I just love seeing the Bulls proving people wrong for the first time in a couple of years. It's nice.
It's nice too because they got both sides of the ball. They really do. I mean,
exactly. It was their defense and DeMar LaVine are not going to work. So the fact that they're proving people wrong on both aspects.
Lonzo and Caruso, Mr. Caruso, Alex Caruso,
was first team All D this year. He better be first team.
He's been thrown around the league, right? All over the place. Just whatever. G League, but people like basically talk down about him. You're like, oh, he's just this skinny white guy. He can't really do anything, right?
I was one of those people. I admit it. When he was on Lakers, I was a fan. So he proved me right.
I will say I had no opinion really of him. I didn't care either way. But now he is on the Bulls playing his role. Something about the Bulls, bro. I don't know what it is, but in the past like 10 years, 15 years, whatever it may be, they just can get players to just play a role. And that's that. Like, you don't need to be Superman. You don't need to be like this to me is why it would have been very intriguing back when LeBron made his decision. If he had come to the Bulls, could he have would he have turned into a player that could play a role instead of needing to be the ball down, like being the whole system? Like, could he have been a role player, not literally a role player, but play a role? Because I don't know what it is, bro. The Bulls just get players to play roles. They just do.
That's facts. That's facts.
You got AO coming in too. And granted, he's done this a little more lately, but he comes in. Let me just give you a spurt of like 5 to 10 points.
Yep.
I'll play my 15, 20 minutes, whatever it may be. That's all I need. Caruso, I'm there to play defense. Lonzo, I don't need to. Here's the thing, bro. Let's get off topic for a little. I do not like the narrative that LaMelo Ball is so much better than Lonzo Ball. I don't like that narrative.
Are you shocked though? Because LaMelo's like the poster boy for basketball these days.
I am not shocked. I just think it's an easy thing to say. It's not really. It doesn't. Yeah. Because it's just looking at I just look at stats. Yeah, I just look at
highlights and what's the big talk of the NBA? It's LaMelo. So,
because Lonzo Ball, again, to roles, he plays his role great. First of all, LaMelo cannot defend like Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo is such a good defender, dude.
Lonzo Ball is so good at defending.
Locking up Harden yesterday. Oh my God.
But that's that's the side of the ball people don't care about, every time we look at players, oh my God, dude, I keep thinking back to that Steph KD debate. You know what? Maybe at the end of this episode, I'll just read through the notes I've taken on that because it's so funny. But like whenever we argue, especially certain individuals on the show talk about players and who's better, they only talk about offense. The one side of the ball. That's all people look at, right? And in that case, I could understand the argument for LaMelo. Honestly, he gets well-rounded stats. So does Lonzo, but
Yeah.
They also have very different roles on their team. Lonzo is not expected to do wanted to do all that, but I don't know, man. I'm just saying. I said it a few times. The Bulls just get players to play roles. I'm just saying.
To your point about the one side of the ball, like offense is easy to like see who's like really good at it because obviously you have highlights, obviously you have games you can watch, but for defense, dude, you can't look at stats because not everybody's averaging 2 steals and 2 blocks every season. You gotta watch games to look at defense to know who's a good defender or not.
Yeah, so, and there's no PER for defense or efficiency.
Yeah. I mean, like
I'm talking about stats that summarize.
Those stats for like, the team's defensive rating is this when this guy's on the floor. I guess those are only like stats you could probably look at, but those are not obviously like the whole picture.
But that's to me that's the equivalent of using plus minus as an argument. I saw somebody on Facebook using plus minus for Steph Curry. It was a very Zach-like argument, and they were saying, oh, how is blah 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 better than this man? If Steph's plus minus is number 1 in the league every single year, and he just got shredded in the comments, everybody's like, dude, that's a terrible stat. It's outdated. Why would you even use that stat? Like nobody uses it. It's a terrible because again, you're looking at like if I'm looking at defensive efficiency, right, with Lonzo on the court, right?
Mm-hmm.
And comparing it to when he's off the court. Well, what about the other 4 players on the court? What about the opponent? Like there are a lot of other factors that play into it that aren't considered, and they are considered kind of in defensive efficiency. It's a better stat, but it's not a basic statistic like plus minus. It's a more advanced metric, but still, like you said, you got to watch. You just have to watch. There's no substitution for seeing it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about Lonzo too is like he plays with 2 other ball handlers on the team. So, obviously on the Hornets is basically LaMelo, maybe Rozier, but LaMelo's the one that runs the offense. On the Bulls,
exactly.
It's Lonzo, DeMar, Levine, any of those guys could start the offense on half court, full court, they can bring the ball up. So that's another point. And Lonzo still puts up, you can still get your 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and maybe a couple threes.
That's crazy. Jack's made no Bulls comments. Most overrated team in the NBA. Not going to be successful. Didn't he say they're going to have what was it? 20 less wins than last year? I think they've already surpassed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was something outrageous. Like they would have been the worst team in history. And I mean, Jack, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, but maybe. The Bulls have how many wins right now? Is it 13?
16 and 8.
Yeah, 16 wins. So, I mean, they had, 39 last year? No, it wasn't.
It's 33?
33, yeah, you're right. 33. So, 20 less than that would be 13. So, 13, is that greater than 16? No, it's less. So, they've already surpassed your prediction. Sorry to say that. Bulls are goated. I'm actually starting to believe they can make a serious push in the playoffs, which I know at the beginning.
In the East, dude, really, I think they match up against the only team that I don't think they match up good against is the Bucks.
The Bucks, yeah, especially after losing Patrick Williams.
Yeah,
they need Patrick Williams to go.
But if they make a trade for a 4, which I think is a good possibility right now, I think they can match up good against them.
Yeah, well, at the beginning of the year, I said that teams just typically outside of the Bucks or the Suns, like last year, the asterisk year, basically teams don't typically just go from not making the playoffs or first round exit to the finals or whatever.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen. Top 5 players,
yeah,
or something like that.
So, but the Bulls are really well rounded. I'm starting to think that maybe I'm starting to think conference finals is in the vocabulary. At least. I don't know.
I wanted to play out first. Maybe after the trade.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, we'll have better predictions when we get seeding. But if they can remain a top 3 seed somehow, they're in good shape because, like you said, I'm looking to avoid Milwaukee at all costs.
Yeah, they're gonna get smoked by Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'm looking to avoid Milwaukee. Everyone else, I like the odds. I'm a little bit worried about the Heat too, but Bam, you never know. Like now with his injury, how will he play out this season? Kyle Lowry's been injured on and off a lot, or is he even back? Yeah,
Yeah, he's back. I think Jimmy's still out.
Jimmy's out.
And
Other
then
than that,
obviously Oladipo.
yeah. Other than that, I'm not too worried. I mean, I like the Bulls' chances. So, but let's move on. Let's talk some Nets, the team that the Bulls just had to put in their place last night. But Steve Nash basically said, "I've got two eyes." But when they were asking, somebody asked him, "Why are you playing KD so much?" And he's like, "I got two options: don't play him as much and we lose, or continue to play him this much and we win more than we lose." That would be the lady. I'm trying to mute it. Why is it not muting? Hello? Thank you. Gosh, Apple, fix your products. No, I take that back. We're sponsored by Apple, so. Yeah, but basically he said, they basically need KD to go, play some people will say LeBron like minutes, but even more than LeBron plays to have a chance to win. So what do you think? Is this sustainable? Is this going to be a problem?
It's going to be a problem for sure. I mean, you're making a guy who just came off Achilles and hamstring issues for the past 2 years. Average, I mean, he played 38 minutes against the Bulls yesterday. He's averaging how many minutes? Let's see. Computer's tweaking because I can't. Okay. Hold on. That's not a big deal maybe 10 years ago. But in today's game, when you have guys like LeBron and Giannis.
He's only averaging 36, but yeah.
For the season?
Yeah. Okay. But it's been a lot more recently.
But Will, that's a lot. I mean, compared to, I can't look at the numbers now, but you've seen in the past 2 years how most guys sit out the fourth quarter, Giannis in particular. And you see the Warriors, even if they're winning or losing, have you seen the way they've been managing Steph's minutes? He goes out for half of the fourth quarter. I remember during the Suns he did. They're having a good run, and they still took him out. So a lot of these guys are getting their minutes managed. He's not. And he's the one coming off Achilles, and he didn't play for 2 years before the season.
Yeah.
And you're asking him to carry guys like Millsap, Mills, LaMarcus, Bruce Brown, Javon Carter. I mean, if you take out KD and you say, okay,
who?
If you take out KD and you say, okay, we're going to let you play 32, 33 minutes a game, they're not winning games, bro. They're going to be a 6th seed if that happens. With the way Harden's playing, they ain't got nobody else to run that offense. They got nobody else to basically lead that team. Kyrie's not there. So Steve Nash is in a tough situation, dude, because Harden's not playing up to par. KD's playing too many minutes for a guy who's coming off, serious injuries. And Kyrie's not there, and we don't know when Kyrie's coming back. So what other option does he have? To risk him getting hurt again? I mean,
well, that's the problem. I'm also looking at his stats online right now. So this is kind of wild to look at. 36 minutes. Outside of his early OKC years, this is the most minutes.
Yeah, but that was in a different era, though.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying that's the most he's averaged. He's also averaging the most points he's averaged since his MVP season, other than his MVP season, I should say. Also, this is his second most efficient season of his career so far. Really, that's wild. His 3-point percentage is down a lot, But, I just know there's a narrative out there by certain people that he's not efficient unless he has other all-stars to draw attention. Oh, man. I don't know, man. I just look at this and I see every year of his career other than baby years averaging over 50% shooting. Point is, all right, he is so clearly their best player. It's just, and I know everybody's gonna look back. Oh, LeBron's had to carry this. Look at this. Steph does this or whatever, or whoever. Paul George is having to do a similar thing this year. Well, guess what? They didn't come off an Achilles injury. All right.
Right.
And I'm not trying to make excuses because there really is no excuse. Either as Kareem says, handle or be handled. That's what it comes down to. But Achilles injuries historically end careers. There's only been one player to come back from an Achilles injury. I think
Dominique,
yeah. That's it. Like nobody else can play. So yeah, the fact that KD has been this decent is this great. You can make an argument he's the MVP this year. And I actually think KD will have a better MVP case when it's all said and done at the end of the season than Steph, even though I predicted Steph to be the MVP because of the fact that Steph's going to get Clay back and James Wiseman.
Yeah, but if KD still has a good chance of getting Kyrie back, so I don't know.
Does he?
It's gonna happen. Either he gets Kyrie back or they trade him, I think. So he's gonna get somebody.
I mean, okay.
Decent.
I am not sure I believe that yet, but
yeah, I know it's not looking good, but
if that happens, yes, of course, if that happens, Steph. I mean, I predicted Steph to be MVP. I predicted it. But they're in trouble right now, and I honestly am shocked that the Nets are the first seed just because.
Yeah.
What?
I'm just comparing his minutes to other people right now.
What's it up? What's it like?
He's averaging more minutes than most of the MVP candidates. Chris Paul, Devin Booker averaged 32. Steph averages 34, which is more than I thought. Jokic averages 32. AD actually averages 35 minutes, which is a lot for him. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, compared to other guys, he's playing a little bit more minutes. So it's really just a risk. Like, do you manage him if he starts? Or what if he comes next week and I pray this doesn't happen? But I'm just saying, like, what if he tweaks his hamstring or he gets some type of injury? Okay, you have
they're done. If KD gets hurt, they're done. Their season.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, do you manage him so you could have him for the playoffs? Because most of these guys, they're just managing their minutes. They're managing their players so they can have them available for the playoffs. Do you do that for Harden and KD?
Well, you bring up a good point.
Risk a lower seed.
The seeding, yeah. Okay. Here's why I wouldn't do it. All right, and maybe I will do it. 40 games from now, maybe the last 20 games of the season, I'd do something like that. Which at that point it might be too late. But here's why I don't do it is because I don't have confidence right now in James Harden to carry the team. If James Harden was a different player, like if he was, last year, even just last year, James Harden, I would maybe do this with KD like they did last year. They did this with Kevin Durant, right? And granted, James Harden ended up getting hurt a few times and whatever. So they had a ton of mumbo jumbo going on. Right. But you can't do that now because James Harden's just not that guy. He's just not that guy right now. And if you don't have Kevin Durant, you are not going to win. This roster is not good. It is not a good roster. Now, I should take that back actually, because LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul Millsap, these guys have been taking it back 10 years.
Take Millsap out of it. It's LaMarcus and Patty Mills. They've been the best role players.
I know, but even like Paul Millsap has had some good games recently.
He had one good game for the past
but like I don't believe that those guys are gonna be enough with James Harden the way he's been. So
yeah, for sure.
But that's what I'm saying is like managing KD is just it's gonna be really hard because you can't. The other issue is I don't know if I believe this team's good enough to make it to the finals if they have like a 6 seed.
Oh yeah, we said that a long time ago.
Yeah, well,
They
that's
don't.
what
They
I'm
don't got
saying.
Kyrie.
If you lose your seeding, that's
Oh
why
yeah.
I'm saying like you can't rest him. You can't manage him too much because you have to maintain. In my opinion, the Nets need the first seed. They have to have the first seed. They should have got it last year, but
The
at the
situation they have
very
now, for
least,
sure.
yeah, at the very least, you need a top 3 seed for sure. And we've already talked about this. I don't think the Bulls are going anywhere. I sure as heck don't think the
Bucks are
the
coming up
Bucks
too.
are. Yeah, I don't think the Bucks are going anywhere. I anticipate Miami will move on up, or at least be in the conversation once they get a little bit more healthy. I don't personally really believe in Washington. I know you do. If Bradley Beal starts playing like Bradley Beal, then yeah, maybe. You know, so they this is a big deal. This is a really big deal for them.
I'm gonna say this, okay? Kyrie, I'm gonna start a Kyrie MVP agenda when he comes back, if he does. Okay. You
Just got some hot cocoa. I heard you.
Kyrie MVP agenda. I'm gonna start advocating for that. I'm gonna advocate that he's a top 3-point guard in the league.
Oh shoot, I just got what you're saying right now. Actually, what?
50, 40, 90 last year on his averaging 26 points per game. He doesn't play this year, and now look at all the questions we have about the Nets. I'm just saying. And then as soon as he comes back, which he will, I believe him, he'll show how important he is to the team.
See, your narrative is flawed there only because if I truly believe if James Harden was right, you wouldn't even have questions about the Nets.
I don't know about that.
I would have no doubts in their abilities because James Harden and KD should be enough. It should be. It just should be.
Okay, it should be.
And I'm not saying it would be, but I'm saying like if James Harden was right, like to me against the Bulls last night, I'm just being honest, they probably beat the Bulls.
Really?
They got a good chance. Like you said, James Harden is getting locked up by Lonzo. Come on. I mean,
okay, but
I'm not saying Lonzo.
But if they lose because someone playing good defense on them, that's not on that's not because that's not no, I'm saying like you can say that for anybody. Like if the Bulls play the Warriors and they lock up Clay and Steph and then the Warriors lose.
No. I understand that. But I'm saying that part of the reason that he gets locked up. Are you frozen? Are you there? Oh no. I think we lost you. But I'm saying part of the reason he's getting locked up is because he's not right. Like he's just not able to adjust right now. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, and I'm not taking credit away from Lonzo because we just talked about it. Lonzo is a great defender. I'm not saying he can't at least slow him down. But I mean, if I'm being honest, like there are a few players, you look at and you're just like, it doesn't matter how great defense you play. They're just going to give it to you. You got Steph, you got KD, you got Harden, LeBron. It doesn't matter. Giannis, they're just going to give you the business. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like, obviously if you shut down KD and Harden, the Nets aren't winning. That's just not going to happen. So, Nets are in trouble though. Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to trade Kyrie.
They should. I don't know how you do that. I don't know.
You think they can manage KD's minutes if they get somebody decent for Kyrie or just a couple good players?
Oh yeah. You need somebody else that can help. First of all, they're going to need more than what they would initially want because of how Harden's playing, like how bad he is. So they're going to try and get as much as they can. Obviously, you would do that anyways. But like we've talked about, Kyrie's trade value is so freaking low. It's a really tough situation. It really is. You need players of the caliber of Patty Mills.
I say a little bit more than that.
Well, I know I would say more too, but I'm just saying with the way that Patty Mills has played, he's looked a little better to me than I thought he would be.
That's true.
So I need players that are playing like he's playing, not necessarily that level. Like ideally you'd want like a Dane, but that's not gonna happen.
Maybe someone like CJ McCollum, maybe, but not him specifically, just someone of his caliber.
I mean, if Bradley Beal still wants out, I would be
Yeah,
trying to.
I was
I would
thinking
try
about
to get
Bradley
that.
Beal. Yeah, for sure.
And I think KD and Bradley Beal are friends. I think,
Are they?
or at least cordial. So it shouldn't be,
They should
a
get Jalen
problem
Brown.
relation.
Low key, they should go for someone like Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown would be their best case scenario, in my opinion. Just
Actually,
top of
Ben
my
Simmons
head.
or Jalen Brown. I think.
Well, I already said at the beginning of the year, Ben Simmons would have been that swap would have been the greatest trade. But I've said I'm convinced they're just not trading Ben Simmons. I totally convinced of that.
Not yet.
I don't think it's happening this year. Maybe it'll happen next year.
Okay. Fair.
But I don't know. I think the Nets are in trouble for the long run. Maybe not now, but I think in terms of the long run.
It's tough, yeah, for real, because KD signed an extension. They took out the extension offer from Kyrie, and Harden could have signed an extension, but he didn't, and he's going to enter free agency. Oh, man,
that's to be fair, we've talked about this. Like, I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but off air. But like they do that on purpose so they can get more money. And
I don't know if I was Harden, I'd look at the Kyrie situation.
Well, that's as Zach has said many times, and I don't agree with a lot of the stuff Zach says, but this I agree with big time. This might turn out to be KD's biggest mistake in terms of a decision. Because if the end goal is winning, this may be his biggest mistake, because the Warriors with KD right now, instant favorites. I mean, they might be favorites right now, but with KD,
you mean Kyrie?
No, the Warriors with.
Oh, the Warriors. My bad. Sorry.
With KD, yeah, they're instant favorites, right? They're undisputed favorites.
Facts.
By the way, Skip Shannon, don't come at us for using that word. I'm not using your title or anything. We're just saying the word undisputed. But yeah, so I think that's everything, right? That's all we had.
Man, this season is crazy so far, dude. Kyrie situation from the Nets, Lakers are struggling, Warriors are, running havoc. The Suns don't look like frauds. The Bulls are good.
You guys said it last week, and I did say it in the chat afterwards when I watched. I'm still not convinced on the Suns or the Warriors, just in terms of their schedule has been so stupidly easy that I'm not convinced that they're the favorites for the titles.
Okay, yeah, but the Warriors are new age Spurs to me, just because they just
find a way.
Yeah, find a way, and they have so much. Their offense is so fluid. It's so nice to watch. It's like, okay, they could beat you with anybody, and they can beat anybody with anybody.
I don't know why.
My bad. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, to your point, I don't know why other teams haven't tried to implement a similar offense, but go on.
You would think that's like the thing. I mean the plan, right? Just share the basketball, play team basketball.
Screen, just a million different screens.
Right. And have guys cut. A lot of guys don't cut in today's game, which is weird, but it's like this is the first time I've seen that actually mimics the Spurs after 20 years.
You are so right about that though, because that you're 100% right, because I remember watching the Spurs back when KD was on the Thunder, and just watching the Thunder get shredded by Boris Diaw or Matt Bonner. Like, are you kidding me?
You're guys right. And Thiago Splitter and Matt Bonner, it's like
Steven Jackson.
Yep.
I mean, they had that ball movement was ridiculous, dude. I remember there was a time where it was like trying on social media. If you ever want to show kids how to play basketball, show them a video of the Spurs. And I will still say that the Spurs ball movement was better than the Warriors is now. Mostly because I think the Warriors just utilized screening more than what the Spurs did. The Spurs
shooting.
Spurs was strictly ball movement, where the Warriors just kind of screen and force you to move as a defense. Bro, when I play basketball, I think I've said on this show, when I play basketball with people from the park sometimes, or kids, freak of nature athletes, like somebody like DJ,
Right.
You know, the dude that can't beat Jack in one-on-one. DJ, if you're watching, you know we're just trolling. But you know, like somebody that I just know athletically is so much more gifted than me. And like
Right.
realistically, if I had to square him up one-on-one, like I'm probably not scoring on DJ. Like there's
facts.
because even if I think I'm getting a shot off, this man can jump like 10 feet in the air and block it, even if I have enough space. Like the only way I beat players like that, or I can stay with them, is running. Just move around forever because I have to make them switch or do whatever. That's what the Warriors do so well. I mean, no, I really don't want to diss stuff here, and I actually mean this in a positive way. So Zach, when you watch this, don't get mad at me. Like he is a master of that, and that is a talent. It is. It really is. The fact that he can just move. He knows he's not physically gifted, and that's okay because he's a freaking the best shooter ever, right? So if I can move around, make the defense move, try and find me, and I get wide open threes, stop it. Figure out a way to stop it. You can't. So that's what they do really well to me.
Yeah, it's good to see. I love watching them play for real.
I swear. I wish the whole NBA played that way. It would just be so fun to watch.
The Bulls kind of play that way this year. I think just because, you know, they share the ball. Obviously, the chemistry was a question everybody had. And you see, you know, Levine and DeMar, you know, playing off of each other. But when you have like guys like Ayo come in and Troy Brown Jr. and Caruso, especially Caruso plays.
Who?
If you watch Caruso,
sorry.
If you watch Caruso play, bro, he cuts. He's always driving in. He's always finding the open man. He plays just like you know, if he came from the Spurs or the Warriors. But no, I love watching Caruso play.
Caruso, I love him. He's like one of my favorite players. I would get a Caruso jersey. That's how much I like him.
You like him now, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't watch. I'm not going to be a liar. I didn't watch him on the Lakers because I didn't care. Yeah. You know, I honestly, I didn't watch him in G League. So I didn't care about him. He wasn't on my team. That's just, you know, how it is. But he reminds me of Joakim Noah. Obviously not in size or, you know, what his abilities are, but just in the effort and he's just so effort. He's purely just go out there, give it 100%, however long I'm on the court.
Yep.
That's what I love about the Bulls, man.
Big things are going for the Bulls. For real.
Don't sleep on us, bro. I don't wear this hat for no reason to work every day. You know?
Does anybody say anything to you?
No. Somebody did ask the other day. They're like, "Are you just really cold?" And I was like, not really, but yeah. But yeah, that's all we got. We're about an hour, maybe a little more. I don't know, something like that. But good episode. Hopefully, we'll be back, all three of us, next week. Maybe even Jack will make a showing. I doubt it, but you know, you never know, folks. But we appreciate it. Episode 43. Yeah, 43 in the books. You know, like KD, one of the greatest numbers ever. But you know, thanks for listening. Follow us on social media. You know, it's down. It's at the beginning of the video. Spotify, Apple Pods, some other random networks that I don't even know about. YouTube, probably YouTube is the most popular. So check us out. Follow us. TikTok as well. Always trying to put out some good content. Instagram. So, you know, we're doing our best. Let us know how we can improve. We appreciate y'all. Love you. Peace.
See you later.